Hi, welcome to In Between Thoughts. Today we're going to talk about heartbreak. And honestly, I do not think people talk enough about how raw heartbreak actually is. Not just the sadness, not just missing someone, but the way it can completely interrupt your life for a while. The way you can wake up and immediately think of them. The way random songs suddenly feel different. The way certain places, foods, memories, and even little things can suddenly hurt. And I think what's strange about heartbreak is that it's one of the most normal human experiences in the world. Yet when it happens to you, it somehow feels like the world stopped. Because heartbreak is not just losing a person. Sometimes it's losing routines, losing comfort, losing plans, losing a future that you started imagining, losing a version of yourself that existed when they were around. And honestly, I think that's why it hurts so much. Because people are not meant to be meaningless to us. People matter, connections matter, and I think there is something incredibly beautiful about that. Think about it. Out of billions of people in the world, we somehow find people that make us feel understood. People we stay up late talking to, people we become vulnerable around, people we tell our fears to, people we tell things we've never told anyone else. And I think that's amazing because being vulnerable is scary. Allowing someone to know you deeply is scary. Letting someone see the parts of yourself you hide from everyone else is scary. But people still do it. People still love, people still trust, people still try. And I think that's beautiful because love has always involved risk. You are basically saying, here is my heart, here are my fears, here are my insecurities, here are pieces of me that matter. And you're hoping someone handles those things gently. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes things end because of mistakes. Sometimes people grow apart. Sometimes it was your fault. Sometimes it was theirs. Sometimes nobody was really the bad person. Sometimes life just changes people. And I think that's one of the hardest things to accept. Because when things end, our minds immediately want answers. Who was wrong? Who messed up? What happened? Could I have done more? Could I have fixed it? And sometimes you sit there replaying every conversation and every memory in your head, trying to understand what happened, trying to find that one moment where things changed, trying to make sense of something that suddenly feels broken. And heartbreak can be brutal because people act like it's just being sad. But sometimes heartbreak affects everything. Your appetite changes, your sleep changes, music feels different, your energy changes. You can be surrounded by people and still feel lonely. You can laugh and still feel heavy inside, and for a while it can feel like you're carrying around this invisible pain that nobody else can see. And I think people underestimate that because heartbreak is grief. You're grieving a person, you're grieving memories, you're grieving what could have been, you're grieving a future that only existed in your head. And grief takes time, but I think something beautiful exists inside heartbreak too, because heartbreak means you cared. Heartbreak means something mattered enough to affect you. Heartbreak means you allowed yourself to love. And even though that pain can feel unbearable sometimes, I do not think the answer is becoming colder. I do not think the answer is convincing yourself to stop caring. Because imagine how beautiful it is that humans continue loving even after being hurt. People continue trying. People continue trusting. People continue opening their hearts. And I think that's one of the strongest things a person can do. Because eventually, little by little, you start finding yourself again. You start laughing again, you start sleeping better, you start enjoying things again, you start becoming you again, not the exact same version of you, but a new version, a stronger version. And if your heart has been hurting lately, I want you to remember something. Just because something ended does not mean it was meaningless. And just because your heart is hurting now does not mean it always will. I'll see you in the next In Between Thoughts.